Hi everyone, and welcome to Spotlight North Carolina Cooperative Extension. I'm your host, Rebecca Benton. North Carolina Cooperative Extension is comprised of two land-grant universities, NC State University and NC A&T State University. We are located in all 100 counties, including the Koala boundaries. Today I have with me special guest Meleah Evers. Meleah, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Now tell everybody your position at North Carolina Cooperative Extension.
I am the Family and Consumer Sciences Extension Agent.
Here in Columbus County, right?
Yes, here in Columbus County, and I've been here for quite a while now.
So one of the reasons why I asked you to be on here to do a specific recipe, I asked for something with honey in it.
Yes.
And so we are going to do something with honey today, but the reason why I asked of this was because we have the North Carolina Honey Festival coming up here in our county. So I believe it's September 9th, and so in honoring that, we're going to do something with honey in it. So you want to tell our audience a little bit about that?
Yes. Today we are going to be doing a Crockpot honey garlic chicken, and we have some already prepared, so you'll be able to see what it looks like, hopefully complete, and we'll be completing a new recipe, so you'll be able to see the whole process of that being done while we're here today.
Well, it smells good. I can already smell like the infused flavors going on in that recipe. So.
It does smell good. It's made me hungry all morning. All right. So what we're going to do, since we are going to be doing this in a crock pot, I decided to make life a little bit easier. And I purchased some of these crock pot liners. So if you will, open our crock pot.
These things are awesome.
Yes.
I didn't know life existed outside of these until I had used them. Let you just open.
That I don't know. Right here.
Ah, I was messing. It would not open up for me.
Okay.
But I used to scrub these pots and everything like crazy when I had this stuff before I was introduced to crock pot liners. And then I learned one more tip. You want to know what that cool tip was?
Put it underneath the edge.
No, that was not, but I will do that for you.
Okay.
The cool tip that I learned was actually to take your crock pot liner boxes and store them inside your crock pot when you put them away. So you always have them, because I would take the crock pot camping or wherever I was going, and guess what?
No liners would be at home.
Yes, and so I end up storing them inside my crock pots, and that makes sure that I have that liner in there every time, which causes less mess when I have to clean up.
Absolutely.
So I love those.
All right, so the very first thing we're going to do, we have 4 chicken breasts in here that I've had on a little ice pack there so they could stay safe. And what we're going to do is we are going to place these inside the crock pot. So
I'll open the lid for you.
Open the lid one more time, and I'll place these in here, a single layer at the time here. I could only do 2 in that little crock pot without having them overlapping this morning, so I did just do.
So you want to make sure that you do a single layer, whatever size crock pot you have. Okay.
Yes, of the chicken in there, and you can go ahead and place that on low, because we're going to be cooking on low today. And the first thing that we need after that, we can season it with some salt and pepper. So if you want to open that back up again, sorry.
I'll be fan today.
Yes, thank you. Put a little salt, and I brought the pepper grinder because that's just better to me. And put a little pepper on those. And then we're going to start with our sauce. And that is going to be some Columbus County local honey, thanks to your bees.
Yes.
And I'm not going to pour this into another container to measure, because our container here has a measurement on the side for cups and ounces, and it's about 5.5 ounces, or 2/3 of a cup of honey. So instead of trying to make something else really sticky with this honey, I left it this amount in the jar.
Yeah, we might not have had that honey. The kids at the 4-H camp were doing their best to let them take it with them. Oh, Miss Rebecca, can I have that? No, I need it.
So we're going to let that kind of drip in there. You want to hold that? Yes. So we want to get every little bit of that honey goodness. I'm going to use a little bit of this since I was touching that chicken. earlier. And the next thing that we're going to add is we're going to do 1/4 of a cup of a low sodium or reduced sodium chicken broth in with that honey. Ooh, I don't know it was going to do that.
That come out kind of fast.
It sure did. It wanted a little splash of extra. Okay, so we have that. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. In the recipe, they call for a reduced sodium. I don't have a reduced sodium. This is what I had in the fridge. So this is what we're using today.
And it's okay to use what you have on hand, too.
Right,
You don't want to waste.
Right, I wasn't.
Sometimes I'll do that. I will substitute, like if I have lime juice in the refrigerator instead of lemon.
Yeah.
It may differ the flavor just a tad, but it doesn't
Not
enough to bother me when I do the recipes. Yeah.
Yeah, not enough to make a special trip back to the grocery store. I live too far away for that. Okay, so we have our soy sauce. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to mince some garlic. And I did find my garlic press, but we need about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. You can use the jar stuff. I've done that before, but I did have some garlic cloves or garlic bulbs. This is, the difference, bulb, clove. But they're asking for a specific measurement. So if you have garlic cloves, the easiest way I found to get the skin off of those are to take a kitchen knife, chef's knife, and press that down and mash it really good, and it will,
See, you do that so nicely. Like, when I do it like I'm some sous chef, karate magician person and make really loud noises with it.
I probably need to, and maybe it
And it end
will
up
do a little bit
scaring
better.
my kids in my cooking
They're
class.
like, what in the world is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, that's not happening as great as I really wanted it to, but here we are. So you have nice clean garlic. And we're going to do a couple of these that way. And, garlic is really smelly. So a tip for that, and I actually brought one, is I brought a stainless spoon so that we could rub our hands on it, and so my hands will not smell like garlic for 3 days.
Yeah, it works with onions too, doesn't it?
Yes. Yep. So any kind of odorous food that you might be working with, you can just rub your hands on something stainless steel, and voila. And this is a tiny baby garlic clove here.
That one sounds like it squished down
Yeah,
pretty
that
good,
one
like
did
it'll
pretty
come
good,
loose.
maybe.
Those other ones were
Kind of tough
yeah, they hanging on.
for dear life. Okay. All right. So I'm going to play with this and open this and get another clove out, because this morning it took 2 cloves to make 1 tablespoon. So I'm assuming it's going to take at least 4, and I know one of those is kind of baby, but this one's kind of big, so
Yeah, it'll even
it'll
out.
all work out. All right. All right. Maybe I'll put
Did that one crack open good?
a little bit
Well,
better, yes.
Okay, cool.
Trying to make all my mess over here on the
Yeah, I actually learned about that stainless steel tip that you were talking about when I was doing an FNIP training. And we were learning knife skills particularly, and our director at the time of Expanded Food Nutrition Program was Laura Lee Jones, and she taught us all that, and she's like, now smell your hands. I didn't believe it until I did it.
Right.
And it actually worked, so. I was like, they don't smell like onions or garlic or whatever we were cutting up. And it was,
Yeah.
I think it was onions we were actually cutting up that day.
Okay. So, what I'm going to do is show you, if you, like I said, don't have a fancy garlic press and you just have a knife and a cutting board, you can just, use your little claw here and
chop it finely.
chop it fine, really fine. Don't have my fingertips out, so I can't.
Yeah, always make sure you make that claw, but grab it securely where you don't have to worry about anything.
Right. I'm just doing a little rocking motion with my knife here, so I don't even actually take the blade off the point of the blade off of the cutting surface. And just make lots of itty little chops here.
Now, will you put those in the garlic press afterwards, or are you just going to do the chop?
I'm just going to chop it.
Okay.
I mean, you could if you really wanted to.
Or if you didn't like to chop it, right?
Yes, but I thought I would, play a little bit today. Got some darker pieces I'm going to pull out here.
Okay. And so this, you need to mince these, and so mince, that cutting technique. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so you have chop, you have,
A grate's one, but that's even smaller.
oh yeah, that's
even
pretty
smaller.
small. But that's like almost the equivalent of a mince, really and truly. But usually it will do in more of a string, like if you're creating zest is probably a little more
Finer.
Like a mince. But, mince is like as teeny tiny small pieces as really and truly you can have.
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay. So
that definitely looks minced to me.
Yes, that's going to be as minced as we're going to get today. So I've got my dough knife here, and I'm going to kind of,
I'll hold that down.
Thank you. Scoop that up, and I'm not going to measure that. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it.
Or measure with your heart.
Yeah, measure with my heart, because we're not baking, so this is not...
It's not as crucial.
As an exact science as if you were baking, cookies or something. All right, so you've got your minced garlic, and the last couple of things we have to add a tablespoon of apple cider.
I'm going to get the whisk ready.
Okay.
So I can be whisking while you're adding these ingredients in.
Yes.
Because that honey is still thick here on the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll incorporate them while you're adding.
And they said this kind of helps to tenderize your chicken as well.
Oh.
Let's see. We've got a tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm going to switch up to my dry one here.
I know we just got a little bit more time to finish this recipe up, so.
All right. And then we need a little bit of salt. So it was calling for a fourth of a teaspoon. So I'm just going to kind of dangle that over here. All right.
Okay.
And then we've got, these are optional, but you can do an 1/8 to a 1/4 of a teaspoon of your red pepper flakes, and you just mix that up. And the next thing you're going to do is pour that over our mixture in the crock pot.
All right. Are you ready?
And we're going to cook that for 4 hours on low.
So this one be ready to go. This is an easy dump and go recipe, it looks like to me.
Yes. So super easy dump and go. When you don't have a lot of time to prepare. Like I said, you can make that a little quicker if you use the jarred, or if you want to use your garlic press.
But slide this over so you can plate up what we have here already, and you can show the audience.
So I'm going to take this out.
Here, I'll hold it right here for you.
All right.
And that's a pretty glazed color.
Yes. And of course it won't come off. And I did tempt this earlier and it wasn't quite ready, so I did turn up our heat. But that is our honey crockpot honey garlic chicken, and you can serve that on top of some rice. And Becca's going to temp this.
I'm going to temp it for you.
It's safe.
So what would be the correct temperature?
165 degrees.
165.
And if it is not, after your time is up, put it on and cook it a little bit longer so that it will reach 165 degrees. So it won't make anybody sick, because we certainly don't want to do that with some chicken.
Right, and as you were talking and quickly finishing up, I'm excited about this recipe. It does not look like it's temping properly yet. It's still at 148, unless I've got something wrong. But Meleah, I did want to say thank you for sharing this recipe with us today. If anybody's interested in learning more about cooking with crock pots or some of the recipes that you guys do in FCS, how can they get in touch with you?
You can call the office. Our line for Family Consumer Science is 641-3996.
All right. And audience, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Spotlight North Carolina Cooperative Extension.